Say that again. What were the 3Ds?
So the 3Ds are dips, dogs, and dancing.
And dancing.
I don't know if it was that day or the next day, but I got a call from my dad saying that he had terminal cancer.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. He has passed? When our loved ones passed, they are still with us, you know, and if you can put you into a state, you can connect with them. And you should talk to them all the time, even when they're not here, still talk to them. And okay, Dad, I'm not talking to you enough. Have a picture in your house and talk to them. Their spirit is still with you.
And I think it would surprise him that I have joy, that I really love life. And there's so many people who love me. Hey, I'm back. Let's go live life.
Right. So welcome, Nathan.
Thank you.
I'm going to read a little bit about you.
Okay.
So Nathan Shultz is a leadership and transformational coach whose work has evolved beyond traditional success and into something much deeper, helping people reconnect with purpose, joy, and what it truly means to feel alive. After years of guiding individuals and organizations through personal and professional growth, Nathan discovered the profound impact of movement and embodiment, becoming a 5 rhythms teacher in training and creating spaces where people can reconnect with themselves and each other. Today, his work invites us to explore the intersection of leadership, authenticity, community, and the courage to fully inhabit our lives. Nathan, welcome to the Sagefull Living podcast.
Thank you. So great to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. And before we talk about what you do, tell me what lights you up.
I have 3Ds of joy. This actually came to me a couple of years ago when I was nomadic. It was just one morning where I went down to the creek in Sedona and I was cold dipping, plunging into the water, and I was just feeling so amazing. And I was just like, wait a minute, I love dips, dancing, and dogs.
Dips, dancing, and dogs.
Those are like my 3Ds of joy. Just this morning in the elevator, I don't have a dog yet, but just having a dog in the elevator makes my morning amazing coming back up from the gym.
I love that.
Yeah. And the dips is a bit multidimensional because it can be in nature. It can be an ocean, river. It can be a pool at my building. It can be a cold plunge. It can be a jacuzzi. Any kind of like water just makes me so happy. Like I immediately just release and feel great.
Are you a water sign?
I'm a Gemini. Nope. I'm a Gemini in the Western system and a Taurus in the Vedic system.
Yeah, still not, but you have such that call to water.
Yeah.
And how about the dance? So let's go through those 3Ds. What do they do for you? The dip gives you that sense of relief and release.
Yeah.
The dogs?
The dogs, it's almost like I have a friend. Just reminded me of my best friend when I was a little kid was the golden retriever next door, Max. And I'd take him for a walk every day. Dogs just make me happy. I feel like, at least the ones that I like, they just emit joy. And I'm very sensitive that I just attune immediately to like the joy that they're putting out.
What's holding you back from getting your own dog?
I don't love the idea of like, if I want to travel, there's, it's got to go to somewhere else, or throughout the day, if I'm bouncing around, like it's going to be locked up. Like it doesn't feel like a natural setting for the dog. In like my high-rise apartment up on the 29th floor.
Right. Yeah. Unless you have a dog that you're one of those people that you take it everywhere.
Yeah.
And dance, the 3D.
Dance. Oh my gosh. I've been doing it for 12 years, and in the different phases of my life, it's given me different things. And right now, what it's giving me is, I would say similar to the water, is just release. Like whatever I'm holding, I get to like kind of shake it out, release it. And then ultimately it kind of gets me into, if I'm holding something, that goes away. And then I just get into my joy.
Have you always enjoyed dance?
No, actually, I remember I was I was terrified in junior high with the very first dance. And I remember myself practicing the MC Hammer Running Man, because Can't Touch This just came out in the 80s so I was practicing the Running Man, and I was like so freaked out for that dance. I remember the first club that I went to was, I think it was like the end of, I don't know, somewhere in college. Like one of the senior guys took me to this club in Chicago called Crowbar. It was just like I was like a kid in a candy store, like this different realm. And it's really just evolved. So, I had my whole 20s and even early 30s where dance for me was about clubbing. It was being about out until 4. I was single then. It was picking up girls. It was drinking. I had alcoholic tendencies. I was blacking out. And in those times, I was able to like get to that state of ecstasy, just like they talk about raving. When my whole life crashed and I started to evaluate every single thing in my life, and I came into 5 rhythms and I quit drinking, then I was able to find that ecstasy and a whole other box of chocolates along with it in that dance practice. That's how I've been experiencing dance for the last 12 years. I don't go to clubs anymore. It's a rare moon.
It's a rare
when
moon.
you get me out there.
Well, there's a big movement now for coffee clubs, right?
Oh, yeah?
It's an early morning dance like Daybreakers with no alcohol.
Oh, yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah. There's also a big movement for like a 5 p.m. or an 8 p.m. for moms.
5 p.m. in the 8.
I
love that
on
idea.
Instagram. I haven't seen it in Miami. I'd love to find it. I love the idea of dancing without alcohol, dancing early.
Totally.
Late.
Yeah, I really love, I was around in New York City when Daybreaker was born. I went to a couple of those parties when it started out. I love it. I love that there's a whole new conscious dance scene that has been blooming, I think, for the last 10 years that is about the dance. It's not about substances. It's
this next generation, they're getting away from alcohol. It's really nice.
Yeah.
You said raves and ecstasy. Like, explain that to me. I've not heard that before. And I want to experience this.
I can't say I was always at raves, but I did go to some, and I was also going to like more traditional clubs in New York, and also more like underground house music party dances. Those weren't called raves. But, the ecstasy wasn't about me popping a pill. I never took substances, but it was about, after an hour or so or whatever, just feeling like bliss, feeling like, oh my God, like this is like the best thing ever. Feeling, for me, it's like exalted. I don't know how else to say it other than blissful.
Blissful. Wow, I love that. And I think that's the whole point, right? Is for people to get to that, and that it's the music and the vibration that runs through your body, and the dance and the movement and the energy you're releasing. And you just get to a state of bliss.
Totally.
Wow. I was locked in my body for many years.
So
dance for me was not fun. I was more insecure. I hated going out dancing. Like, maybe every once in a while I'd feel like dancing and I'd want to dance. And I don't feel like this was my whole life, but I feel like it was a big chunk of my adulthood. And I never had the friends that wanted to go out dancing. I lived in New York City. We never went clubbing or anything. And then when I came here, it was more about the regional Burning Man, right? And that's all about music and dance as well. And the first 2 I went to, I walked around more. I would go on my own and go visit different camps, and maybe I'd go dance a little. I even took belly dancing. I went to a 5 rhythms retreat to try to get myself out of my comfort zone. And then it wasn't until about 2 years ago in a medicine ceremony, I unlocked something in my body. Then I went to Love Burn, danced my ass off, got to that state of bliss, like you say. Not to say I wasn't on substances, I'll be honest, at Love Burn. But ever since then, my body is open.
Yeah.
And I can move. And it's like, I almost want to find out what happened. Why did I get so locked in my body? And why is it now so free? Yeah. I'm so happy it's free. I dance all the time.
Ooh.
What do you feel when someone says to you, I don't like to dance?
Great. What do you like to do? I'm in a place where I don't have any agenda for anybody else. I'm like here to accept people as they are. And if they want to change or try something, I'm more than glad to help them do that. But if they're not looking for dance, I'm not here to like convince them or push them. Yeah. So I would just be curious. Oh, like, what's that about for you? Oh, what don't you like about it? Like, I'd be more curious about finding them something that would be good for them.
I want to go back because you did mention when your life blew up.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to, you help people find purpose.
Yeah.
What did purpose mean to you 10 years ago compared to what purpose means to you now?
At the time, purpose meant to me, it was like, how do I be a yogi as a businessman? That was literally like the science that I was trying to map, because after my life blew up, I basically spent 2 years until I became a coach, or 2.5 or something, like doing yoga every day or multiple times a week. I did 2 different teacher trainings.
What was your career before all that?
I was in corporate. So out of college, I did a handful of years in technology consulting at one of the big shops during the dot-com boom in the 2000s. Went to business school, and then I was in consumer products as a brand manager in the food industry at places like Kraft for almost 8 years.
And your life blew up. Divorce?
Divorce was one of them. Yeah, it was a trifecta. So I remember that on the same day, it was sort of like woke up and got the news from my wife at the time that this wasn't going to happen anymore. And here's all these reasons. A lot of it was a surprise to me. And then I don't know if it was that day or the next day, but I got a call from my dad saying that he had terminal cancer.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. He has passed? You're remembering that moment when he called?
Yeah, I think that was like 10 years ago. And, the waves happen of grief and remembering. And in this moment, it's not really like a sadness. It's more like a sweetness. And it's like, oh, he's here right now.
My dad's probably here too. They're watching us.
And he loves to show up when I'm in like sacred sort of experiences. And I got that experience on Father's Day about a week ago, just like a really big wave. So
I think that's a message for our audience, that when our loved ones pass, they are still with us, and if you can put you into a state, you can connect with them, right? And you should talk to them all the time, even when they're not here. Still talk to them. And okay, Dad, I'm not talking to you enough. Have a picture in your house and talk to them. Their spirit is still with you.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was 2. What was the third?
So that was 2. And the third was I was fired from my job. And so it was like a whole year of trying to like fix the marriage while he's passing away. And then the dominoes fell. Like he passed, I got fired, the divorce was finalized. I was living alone and I was just completely broken. Like my ego had exploded. Never could I have imagined that somebody like me, these things would happen to me. I was living kind of like that,
your own little bubble,
that cookie cutter life on paper of success. And so big wake up call. And so then it was off to the races for all the magic to come.
So tell me about that. So you said you did yoga teacher training. Now, were you working, or you just really dove into yourself?
In the moment, I was like, I got to get a job. Like my therapist is like, you might want to like,
time.
And I was like, okay, I'll give myself 90 days of healing. And then all these goodies, showed up. Like I had a spiritual awakening. So it was my first ever experience of a felt experience in my body of energy, of spirit, of God. So it was that whole thing.
And that had never happened before.
It never happened before. I was raised Catholic, went to church every Sunday. And so literally like this Pandora's box opened. And as a A-type at the time, I was like, well, I'm just going to go figure out everything that there is about this whole thing that happened. And so, I became a kid in the candy store, studying all these different lineages. The sense of the universe opened up to me. I understood what that word finally meant. Intuition opened up. I never even recognized that word before. So I explored all of that without a job. I called it my spiritual employed, for 9 months. And then I was just so magnetic that like these these, everybody wanted me to work for them. And I took on 2 half-time jobs and did those over a year while I continued my path work. And then at the culmination of those, I sort of got all the realizations on purpose, what I'm here to do. And then I started my own shop with coaching.
Any suggestions to people out there? So you said you had this awakening and all of a sudden it was intuition, it was spirit, it was God, things that you had never experienced before. Maybe you were like, well, that's bullshit. I'm Catholic. That doesn't exist. And now you had that.
Yeah.
Any recommendations for our audience when they hit these experiences, how to navigate?
I would just say to be curious with it. And I'd highly suggest getting support. I had riches of support. They say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And like literally some of NYC's finest came out of the woodwork and became my personal teachers and guides. People who had been in devotion, spiritual study, contemplative practices for 20, 30, 40 years. I studied from them. I absorbed from them. I was coached by them. I went through practices with them. I had weekly coaching with my mentor, who's a Qigong master, Chinese medicine doctor at the time. And so we would basically do like spiritual coaching plus needles once a week for like 3 years. And the download of, the transmission was potent.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So find the teacher, but keep discernment when you're finding your teacher, right? There's a lot of spiritual bypassing happening out there today. So it's make sure you're seeing people by referrals, through friends, or find someone like me or someone like Nathan to refer you to good teachers.
Yeah.
If the universe isn't delivering those people when you need them.
Yeah.
Very lucky to be in New York at that time.
Oh
right?
my gosh. So lucky. Yeah.
But that's how the universe works. When the universe has a plan for you, regardless, whatever you keep pushing against it, the universe is going to bring you there.
My mind was so strong, and I was so like, I have to just keep living my life this way. That's what it took for me to kind of wake up to who I am and what I'm here to do. Like I had to have those 3 things happen to me at once to really change.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. It opened everything up.
And I want people to think about that and remember that when tragedy, not necessarily tragedy or bad things happen in our lives, sometimes they're for our greater good.
Yeah.
Right. And they are bringing us to a greater purpose, no matter how painful they may be.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So in your business, right, you help people find purpose and you help them succeed. But I feel like you help people feel alive.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about that.
I just meet people where they are and what it is that they want. And
personally and professionally, or just professionally?
They come with professional goals. It's either how to be a better leader on the job, or they are doing career transition. They're looking for their next chapter in life. They're looking for their next job, their next career, etc. In my mind, the best way to do that is to be more of yourself and to get out the things that are in your way. So often these might be personal blocks that they're having. It might be a dysfunctional relationship that's in their life. It may be their health and wellness that is not giving them adequate energy to enjoy their life. They may not be exploring enough of their passions. So we might actually get some of their habits and commitments to pursuing their passions to fill their tank, so they have the energy to show up as a leader. They have the energy to do really tough soul searching to figure out what it is that they want next, or for those passions to inform what should be the next job. So to me, personal and professional is really the same thing. And you're going to be more successful the happier you are, the more joyful you are, the more energy, aliveness that you have. Like I don't understand how anybody could be super successful and just be like dead inside. Yeah.
And miserable.
Yeah.
What I love is that you really bridge spirituality and business. And that's what I'm looking to bring people on like that, because a lot of us, we had those business careers and our degrees and our careers and professions, and then we got deep into the spiritual work.
Yeah.
And now it's like, let's bring that together and share that with the people in the professional world to see we can function in both worlds.
Yes.
And be spiritual and be grounded and be heart-centered and still be successful and professional.
Yeah, because then you're fully integrated. It's like you're living one life instead of two lives. So yeah, that just makes me so happy. And I love working with people who have that curiosity or that wish because it's so fun to do that work,
Yeah.
you know?
I love it. So tell us what Five Rhythms is. So people out there they're like, what, five what?
Yeah, what's Five Rhythms? I get that all the time.
Why was it Five Rhythms? Was that what you found? Because I know it's big in New York.
Yeah, so Five Rhythms is an expressive and ecstatic dance practice. It is therapeutic, it is joyful, it is sweaty, it is intentional. It's about doing your inner work, but it's also about being in community on the dance floor together. So I'll just kind of set that up. Like that's kind of like some of the essence of what it is to me. We can talk about like the methodology or the Five Rhythms in a bit. But your other question, how did I get into it? So it was during that period of my life transition where I had the awakening, and the very first yoga teacher showed up. I gotta laugh because if I don't, I'll cry. And I remember I had this intuition. I was like, I gotta reach out to this guy. I had met him a year ago, and somebody's like, oh, go see Kevin. So I went to his retreat at Kripalu, and I offered him a ride, and we got to know each other. And at some point in that car ride, he's like, hey, have you heard of Five Rhythms? And I think at the time he was dating Amber. And so he's like, yeah, we'll come, after that weekend, I think I had an amazing, one of my first yoga retreats. And then the next weekend I went to the Sunday Sweat Your Prayers class at the Joffrey Ballet Studio in New York. It was just, yeah, a lot of emotion here.
My house has a lot of magic, Nathan. It seems to be getting you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, that first class, I was blown away. There's so many things happened, and I was actually terrified in that first class. It was, it was 11 a.m. The sun was shining. Everybody could see each other in the room. And I was like,
wow,
what? I was like, what is going on here? How are these people like doing all these crazy moves? And like, because I wasn't in a dark club blacked out at 2 a.m.
Right.
And so that like freaked me out. And I pretty much ran out of there at the end of it. And it was just a feeling like I got to do that again. And it was almost addictive for me, just like I got so much out of every single class. I just wanted to keep going back for the next and the next and the next. And literally I've been dancing every week if I have the opportunity for the last 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So who started it?
So Gabrielle Roth is our founder. She created it in the 70s. She was a modern dancer in New York. She had injured herself. She started working with mental patients and then understanding how movement can actually heal their psyche. And so that was a spark for her. And then she hung out at Esalen in Big Sur and lived there for some time. And she befriended Fritz Perls, the father of Gestalt psychology. And so then she started adding this psychology map to the embodiment piece. And then she called herself a modern day shaman. So those were really kind of three really big influences for Five Rhythms that she created.
What are the Five Rhythms? Because I know through the dance you go through five rhythms.
So in a class, we typically go through two waves of the Five Rhythms, and those are flowing, staccato, chaos, lyrical, and stillness. And what Gabrielle said is that these rhythms exist everywhere in life. Like you can find them everywhere and you can find them together. And she was inspired by the waves at the Big Sur because she noticed that the wave actually followed the pattern of those five rhythms.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
That's interesting. And so you guys know out there, it's not choreography dance. It's a static dance. It's free dance. You are to move freely, and you're guided by someone like Nathan. That he's going to have the music that's going to go through those five rhythms and kind of help you, guide you through your body.
Yes.
Right? Get into your arms, or it's your neck, or it's your hips. and then it's just full chaos.
Yes.
Shake it all out, get rid of all that excess energy.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how much we need to move, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, people stand up and shake out the energy, and you'll realize how good that feels. You may feel crazy or seem crazy, but I want you to do that right now and see that you feel maybe your head's going to hurt a little, but you're going to feel energy. We need to move stagnant energy in the body, and that's what dance brings. What has movement taught you about emotions?
That it helps me feel the emotions. In a class, the movement will start waking up my body. It's like a lot of times I can be just more like spaced out. I can be more in the clouds.
Were you always like that?
I think so. Yeah. And so once I start moving, I get more feeling. I can actually feel my body more. And once I start feeling my body more, I start feeling that trapped energy in my body. And then I know how to move to get rid of it. You know, our emotions live in our body. Once you start doing that for a while, you know, around 45 minutes, it's like, ooh, what's that? Like, oh, that feels like, oh, grief in my lungs, or like anger in my belly, or whatever it might be. And then that movement allows me to move that emotion, you know, that then just frees up so much extra space for me to inhabit my body and have more power.
You're really in tune with your body. That I love that, and that's giving me that idea too. When I dance or when I do a 5 rhythms, to really tune into what is it. I love that you said that my heart or like this pain here, so I can identify what I'm releasing. Yeah, that's really good. We hear so much about loneliness. Do you think people are lonely, or they've forgotten how to belong?
Well, I'm both lonely and I've forgotten how to belong, I think, you know, so I'm probably a prime candidate. I've been single since the divorce, you know, 10 years ago. I live alone. That's one of the benefits that 5 Rhythms had given me, which is like a sense of community where it's like, oh, there's other people. We're all doing the same thing, having a good time. Like, we're all on the same page here. It's the largest sense of belonging that I've ever had, like ever, full stop. It's just there. I feel safe. It's like Kundalini yoga may have been a close second, but it kind of had like that cult part of it where it's like, well, to belong and to be one of us, like you're going to dress this way, you're going to say these things. But 5 Rhythms is just like a beautiful melting pot of
show up as you are.
Yeah, everybody from all walks of life. I just remember, like, in the room, there's like professionals, there's shamans, there's yogis, there's martial artists, there's full-time moms, there's little kids show up. It's like, it doesn't freaking matter.
So you've left New York, and now you're here in Miami.
Yeah.
Is there 5 Rhythms here?
There is 5 Rhythms. I would say it's an emerging practice. We've had Liliana de la Vega here for the last 2 years offering practice. She offers twice a month. Right now she's at the Peacemaker in Coral Gables.
Okay.
And so since I moved here in December, like, honestly, that's been one of my favorite things about Miami is like I get to go do.
That's why you have that massage place down there.
Yeah. Speaking of joy, I've got this thing I developed in New York called a Nathan Day. And a Nathan Day is when I stack 3 of my favorite things. And so it would often be dance, massage, and then something else. So yeah, I get to have my Nathan Days here in Miami. I go to dance, I can get a massage, and then usually it's the ocean is like
your place.
That trifecta for me.
Yes. Why the move to Miami? Because I read in your bio you went to Asheville, no?
Yeah.
Okay. You were there for a couple of years?
I was there for 2.5 years. During the pandemic in New York, I had this feeling just like literally explode from my heart. And the sense was like, you got to get out of here. I heard these words, disperse in the diaspora. Doesn't really make a lot of literal sense, right? But I knew what it meant. It's like, you got to get out there, dude. You need to go meet communities and whatever. And then I spent 2 weeks with a power site shaman who works with the energy of land in Peru. And after that, I had this spontaneous nomadic journey for the next 1.5 years where I traveled through high energy lands like Sedona and Shasta. And at the end of that, for the last 6 months of that journey, it was just like Asheville, Asheville, Asheville. And lo and behold, they say it has the highest concentration of vortexes in the US. So that's where I landed. I had an amazing experience with the land there. There's a beautiful presence with the Cherokee. Something that was a development for me. I never knew about that whole relationship and how all that worked. And then it was just time to go. I just had the feeling like my time here is up. And I remember I just dropped into meditation, and I learned this tool during my nomadic journey. It was always like, where do I want to go next? And so I would just close my eyes and I would see the map, and it was like a heat-seeking approach. I could just like look at, where am I going to go next? And it was just like, dee, 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 dee. I was like, Miami? Oh, like what's this? And then I had to use my brain. I was like, does that make sense for me to move to Miami? And I was like, oh my gosh, it's got the beach that I love. I love Latin culture. Maybe my future wife is waiting here for me. There's a ton of business for coaching work. And then the thing that it had to just crush was the dance. I was like, I'm going to be a teacher next year. I was like, is this? And I just felt it. And I could feel my rhythm, my music, and I could feel people loving it. I was like, okay, like, let's go.
And here you are.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that. I love that knowing.
Yeah.
Trusting. Because it's not easy for people to do. People get very stuck and they don't want to move. So the fact that you were like, nope, I have to do this. Right? This is where I have to go. And I trust that this is where I'm being guided.
Yeah.
Inner listening. And how do you find that? Through dance, through meditation?
The inner listening, I would say movement. I'm a movement junkie. Like, I usually have to do enough movement to get the blocks out of the way and get into my center of me. And there I am able to tap into my intuition very well. And oftentimes I have to phone a friend, whether it's my own coach, whether it's like my bestie on speed dial, or I have an assortment of other people who's kind of like on my council that I'll just like call them. I was like, hey, like, Miami came up for me. Is like, am I crazy? So I usually use a combination of both.
Do you dance every day?
I don't dance every day.
No.
Maybe like every other day.
Even just like in the morning in your house, some music.
And sometimes I do dance every day. Right now, I am just like so stoked on going to a workout class at 7 a.m. at my gym across the street. And by the time I get all that out, it's like, I'm not going to have a morning dance.
You're going to a 7 a.m. workout class. Yeah.
But often what happens is I'm feeling like a little like ouchy grouchy, or just even like lonely, or just kind of like bored in the evening. And then I'll be like, one song, two songs. Hey, I'm back. Let's go live life.
Right. What's next? What's next? So if someone listening feels successful on paper, but disconnected inside, any thoughts on where they begin?
I would say either journal or talk to somebody. Journal is a way to kind of like let it flow out, to sort out your stuff. And if that doesn't work for you, what I've found, because I've done career coaching for such a long time, like some people just don't journal, and or they can't do that work by themselves. Like me, when I went through that process myself, what to do next, I was so scared. I couldn't handle all of it myself. I needed somebody to hold that space for me, to go through the emotions, to go through the ideation, to get some validation on try this or try that. Also to have like some accountability in the process. If you're a self-starter and you can like go for it. And if you can't, like listen, get help. And a lot of people have problems getting help.
People don't like to admit they need help. We all need help.
Yeah.
Where no one is a specialist in everything.
For sure. Or they're like, oh, it's like it costs money or whatever. The business model that I use for the investment is like, think about if you get a job 1 month earlier or 2 months earlier or 3 months earlier because somebody helps you, you start earning money much more quicker than if you were to spend a whole year trying to do it by yourself for 6 months or whatever.
I think I needed to hear that too. What type of people do you coach?
With the career transition, I coach all sorts, people from all walks of life. But it's usually a psychographic of people who are looking for more fulfillment in their next leg. So if it's like, hey, I'm a banker, I want to get another banking job just like I can do that, but it's not very interesting for me, and it doesn't bring all of kind of my skills to bear. So it's somebody who's like, I'm stuck or scared. I know there's more out there for me. I don't know what it is, and I can't really walk that path alone. The leadership coaching is, I'd say, either very senior leaders, mid-level managers, or solopreneurs. So it's a solopreneur like me who's like, you got to like do everything and run your business. I've been doing it for 10 years. I speak from that place. Or it's like a mid-level manager like I was in corporate. Like, how do you lead a team below? How do you lead to colleagues, the peers at your side? And how do you manage up to senior management? Or it's that C-level position, a founder, a CEO, or a C-level, something like that, which I also did. How do you, do the vision, set an inspiring tone, like build the culture, all that kind of stuff.
Do you bring the spirituality into the coaching business, or only if it really resonates for the person?
Only if it like comes up. Like if you look at my website or whatever, I'm not talking about spirituality. But if it's relative or if it's something that somebody wants to do, it's like, great, let's go do that. But I never have an agenda. When I'm always just taking their agenda and it's like, what is it that you want or need? I'll help you with that.
Sounds like you can help so many different people. That's like amazing. You really have this big basket of knowledge and skills to help everybody.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, they have to be in tech or they have to be in this, because it's really about the person. It's not about the industry.
For sure. I've done celebrities, CEOs. I've done art. I have a kick-ass artist in New York who I'm helping right now. And then I have like a whole, like all these mid-level managers in the Fortune 500 world. And it's all awesome.
And I think that I hope this shows our audience, like there's so many coaches out there, and it is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with you if you need a coach. We all need support. And like you said, people look at it like, oh, I don't want to spend the money. But like you said, spend the money now, get that job 2 months before, and you're making the money for the 6 months instead of taking the whole year by yourself.
Totally. I've had the same coach for 9 years.
Oh, wow.
And we coach twice a month. And I look forward to every session for the last 9 years. It's the best money I've ever spent. It's my chance for somebody to hold space for me. Somebody who they're thinking about me, like somebody who's literally steeping intention for like the future of my life. And they show up with ideas and they show up with whatever it is, the support that I need. I can bring everything personal and professional to that, because most people will wear one hat, sometimes available, sometimes not. But this person is there for everything, no matter what I need, twice a month. So it's, for me, that's priceless.
What's one belief you no longer have about success?
That there's one size fits all for it. That there's like one way to do it. In my family and for the generations behind me, working with that one right now, there was more of like, you put on your hard hat, you grab your lunch pail, and like you go to work 9 to 5. And the more money you make, the more successful you are. And that's it. That's the bottom line.
If your younger self met the Nathan that's sitting here today, what would surprise him most?
Oh my gosh. So many things. Well, one, that I'm actually an amazing dancer. The guy who was trying to do you can't touch this in the mirror, junior high. It would surprise him that I'm safe. And I think it would surprise him that I have joy, that I really love life. And there's so many people who love me.
I love that. And I'm one of them. And you're new into my life, but I just know like what a beautiful person you are. And I'm so grateful to the universe that, that has brought us here. 20 years from now, what do you hope people remember about how you made them feel?
Special.
Yeah. Seen.
Yes.
And you do. You've made, in the short time I've known you, showed me that I'm seen.
Yeah.
You've made me feel seen. Beautiful.
So happy.
Anything else you want to add, say, share?
I would love to just walk people through each of the 5 rhythms. It's the most important thing in my life. And it's also like the number one question that I get, which is like, what are the 5 rhythms? Like, what do you mean by that? As you said, in a class, the music will guide you through those 5 rhythms, through flowing, through staccato, through chaos, through lyrical and stillness. And each one of those embodies a different magic, a different part of us that we have inside that we get to unlock, we get to open up. So the first one with flowing is about the feminine. It's fluid, it's intuitive, it's creative, it's about taking energy in, it's about getting into the essence of who you are. Staccato is about, once you know who you are, expressing that out, being more linear. It's the masculine, it's direction, it's your yes, it's your no. And then chaos is that disorganization. There's no structure. It's letting go of patterns. It's changing behaviors. It's change. And then lyrical is like the other side of that. It's light. It's bright. It's happy. It's joy. It's creative. And then stillness is peace. It's being. It's just being.
I think that's my favorite part of the interview. That was so beautiful. I hope that you guys understood it. And if you are listening, go to YouTube, go to Spotify and watch so you can see the movements that he's doing and really understand what that means in the body. And it's so true. When we did 5 rhythms the other day on the beach, it's exactly how I felt. Everything that you just did is how I felt through the music. And even there was that one point, I was like this. I was on the beach going like this.
Yeah. It's intuitive. Like that's my favorite part is you don't need a playbook. You don't need the teacher to tell you things because the music is structured in a way that it takes you through that journey. If there's only one thing I would give people listening to this is you don't have to understand it. If you do, great. Gabrielle has books. Go read them. They're amazing books. I didn't read the books until I had to. It's always been an intuitive thing. I never understood. It was just all a felt experience. And all I did is show up and dance to the music and all the goodies happened. You know what I mean? Without knowing anything. So there's different ways to go about it.
I went to a 5 rhythms retreat in Costa Rica with Amber on a New Year's Eve where we danced through the night. And we had, the room was set up like and everybody had their own slice.
Ooh.
And that was your dance space.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Amazing.
And as midnight came, we were dancing.
So cool.
It was really beautiful in a huge maloca in Costa Rica, in open air.
Yeah.
It was fabulous.
Yeah. Did they have those cacao shots with the cayenne?
No.
No?
No. Cacao, if you're watching the podcast, I think last week was cacao.
Okay.
Was Luis of Cacao Soul. So
I love Luis. Yeah. He was my first yoga teacher here in Miami some years back.
He and I did our teacher training together.
What? Oh my gosh.
I've known him for a long time. So the final thing I love to ask is, because I'm all about Sagefull living a life aligned. How do you live your life aligned? Any daily practices you want to share? Besides the dance. We know definitely the dance.
Living my life aligned, I would just say always be able to like listen to accept my own story. It's like, what is the story of my life right now? Like, am I buying myself right now? And if I'm not sure, I call one of my best friends and I'm like, hey, here's how I'm like approaching life right now. Like, check me out, bro. Like, what, am I bullshit right now? Or is like this legit?
And he'll tell you like it is.
He'll tell me like it is. Like the power of having people check me is incredible. I mean, usually I'm right, but sometimes I'm not. But getting the validation for me is, even if like I think I'm right, for me, getting the validation from a trusted source is like, yeah, dude, like you're like, don't doubt yourself. Like you got this. I do that every day.
Accountability, it sounds like.
Yeah.
We need that. You know, I had a boyfriend say to me once, oh, I get it. No one holds you accountable. Or no one tells you you're wrong. Yeah, when you live alone, there's no one to tell me I'm wrong. I'm doing, and then Mia came into my life to show me.
Oh my gosh.
All those places are wrong. Yeah, but when he said that, I was like, oh, I understood that. Because it's true. When you have a partner or you live with family, they're going to call you out on your shit.
Totally.
But when you are living by yourself and you're living your life mostly on your own, who's calling you out on your
Totally.
shit?
Yeah, there's a lot of places to hide.
A lot
Yeah.
of places.
Yep.
Any other practices daily that you get into? Meditation?
For me, in the morning, it's the 7 a.m. class. Some gym instructor kicks my ass for 45 minutes. It's high intensity. And I had this validated I did a full genome report, and I have certain genes that don't allow me to detox naturally. And it's like, you need explosive workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos, staccato gets me that in dance. I don't always have dance. So I do high intensity in the morning. And then I also do, I have a sauna and cold plunge at my gym. So that's my 1-2 punch. Like those two things together, combined with a lot of hydration in the water, like that's what blasts me off for the day. And then, more my evening routine is that ocean magic at like the sunset. Those are my top practices.
Beautiful. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Nathan. I'm so excited that you were here and shared. In the show notes, we'll have details about where you can find him for 5 Rhythms, where you can find him for coaching. Mention the Sagefull Living podcast, and he's going to offer you a special deal on the coaching. Thank you. I'm so happy that you are here in Miami and that you're bringing this, and I can't wait to bring my community to your dance floor.
Oh, looking forward to all of it. I'm so grateful for this time and for you, and so much more to come.
Thank you.